Hello, selection and OTC candidates, whatever phase you're in. This instructional video is going to be going over the basics of CQB, the bare bones of what CQB is, the fundamentals. I am Major Alex Diaz, and introduce yourself, please.
Yes, and I am Staff Sergeant, Max Merks.
So me and Merks here are going to be going over your guys' actual CQB instructional courses. Your cadre should be showing you guys this video. So we're going to go over the bare bones. If Merks here wants to add anything on before we go ahead and cut.
No, not really. Just if you have any questions, just reach out and we will hopefully get them answered, or just ask your cadre during the video.
So, this is going to be the first part of the bare basics of CQB. Staff Sergeant Merks here is going to be going over the basics of actually entering a room, what to do before entering a room, how to set up a room entry, etc. So it's all, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, well, so obviously we're not going to get into any too in-depth stuff. We're going to go over the basics. Right here we're going to have what we like to call a corner fed. We can identify it by having one strong side in simple terms. So to break it down, we have our strong side over here where someone could be hiding. You want to come in here?
Yep, got you.
Yep. So someone could be hiding over here, right? And let's say if a person's kind of over here, it's a weak spot, basically, because we can see them when we pie the room. That's why we call it corner fed. And we'll get into center feds. It would have two strong sides.
Cool.
Now, how to deal with the corner fed. So here, all I'm going to do is just wait for my tap. Once I get my tap, I'm going to swing open the door. Now, first step, especially in deliberate CQB, is pieing it. I'm going to grab some distance from the door, because angles and distance always matters in everything, and I'm going to start my pie. Now, pieing can either be slow or fast, but when you're deliberate, you want to keep it slow. So we start our pie, we take in all our information. Let's say if we have a target, we're going to stop, fire a couple rounds, blah, blah, blah. And now how we actually enter it. We're going to basically kind of deal with it the same way we would deal with any threshold. Just enter it like this. And we're going to pick a side. We can...
Yep. That's good. You kind of cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We can either run the rabbit or attack the threat.
Alright, great. Anything else you want to say?
No, you want to show them what running the rabbit would look like?
Yeah, sure, great. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Sorry, start a pie, keep it slow.
Good.
Yep. No, that's attacking the threat, and he's gonna run that rabbit.
Yep. Yeah, that's running the rabbit. We're gonna be talking about the differences between dynamic and deliberate, just because that that vocabulary was used. This, like I said, we're going over the bare basics, but I figure we should also go over terminology as well. Because there's going to be a lot of words here used that maybe a lot of you guys don't understand. So, deliberate CQB is more of a methodical, slow-based CQB. Dynamic is known for going in quickly. It's the CQB that almost everybody and their mom knows how to do. Basically, running in the room, running this, it's a full pace, full speed, not much methodicalness to it. Going over what I like to call pacing. Pacing is the balance of dynamic and deliberate. It's where you are capable of pacing yourself between dynamic and deliberate. Which meaning, like, for example, if right here when he pies, that's a deliberate side of the pacing. The second he flows in, it's a quick pace. It's a dynamic. When you flow into rooms, it's supposed to be fast. It's not supposed to be slow. Because you want to get into that room and you want to make sure that your teammate is right behind you, on your back, flowing down wherever corner or whatever he needs to be doing. He's looking for work, basically. If Staff Sergeant Merks has anything to say here, yeah.
Nope. I think we hit all the points. I think we hit all the points as well, too.
Great. We're going to be going over center fids. Once again, Merks, if you want, you can take that part.
Yep, sure. So, center fed, let's go over here. Alright, let's come in and let's kind of examine the room, right? So I'm just going to keep using that terminology of that strong side, weak side, where an enemy could be hiding and we can't see him. So in this case, we have two weak sides and we have two strong sides. One weak side over here in the corner because we can see him when we pie. Another weak spot over here in this corner because again we can see him when he pies. Now our strong side is going to be the closest to the doors in those corners. So again, right here, one strong side because when he pies, no chance of seeing me. And same way over here where this target's going to be. Now, I don't think we touched on it. Actions outside the doorway.
Yeah.
Did we touch on that?
I don't think we did.
Yeah. So once we approach a door, usually, you know, we can keep going. There's many ways of dealing with this, right? We're just going to go with the cross coverage here. So how you determine who opens a door is either by which way it opens. So like if, for example, this, he's going to have first threat. Right when that door opens, he can see into the room. I can't. I'm blocked by this door.
Yep.
Right, and we can see that by, let me just open the door. Boom. You can see that. I can't see shit. Right. And we also go off of door handle and door hinges. As you can see, the door hinges are inside.
You've cut out, by the way. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So the door hinges are inside. They are invisible to the outside world, right over here. And also, door handle's closer to me, so I open it. How he tells me to open it is just by giving me a quick barrel wave. I swing it open, again with that angle and distance, and now we can both start our pie here.
Yep.
Now we're going to meet up in the middle, like so. Again, taking that pie really slow. Once we get to that middle, boom, and now I give it up, and we can go over that in a second.
Going, flowing like that. Yeah, so I think I'll be taking over just a little bit for a second, and you can continue after I have to say what I have to say, just not to interrupt or anything. So when we come in the room like that, as you guys see, you talked about cross coverage, you talked about the pie. Another word for that you might hear said a lot, depending on you know who you end up with, who your instructor is. I like to call this personally a center check, where either both or one teammate goes to basically steps into the center of the room. There's also something called a center step. Center stepping is when you enter the room. So, for example, as you can see, me and Staff Sergeant Merks here, we didn't hug the wall, and we didn't go in like this. The reason for that is when you're hugging a wall and let's say you try to button hook, a J hook, like this, you're going to hit the wall. It even happens when you go like this, and it stops your barrel from coming up quicker. That's why a center step, which we both have done, it's basically the variation of once you pie, it's basically just stepping into the room like a normal human being. It's basically just walking in the room, start like this, turn. So it's a step and a turn. If you have anything to add on to that.
No, just one more thing I forgot to mention is the high 45. So back to what he's saying. You're not, when you come back from our center check, or pie, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm not going to stick to this wall. One, I have no visible into this room. I can't see shit in it. And two, I kind of don't have much space to work, right? So what I'm going to do is something called the high 45, where I'm just going to kind of angle myself off the wall a little bit to like a 45-degree angle to the door.
Yep.
And then again, with that high ready, somebody needs to give up the room. So if you want to go inside, I'll just explain that.
Yep.
Alright, so how we determine who gives up the room is by visibility, right? So once you're outside, as you can see by Mr. Major Eric's perspective, you'll be able to see that he has much more perspective into the room. He can kind of see more into that corner. From my angle, all I can see is a wooden door blocking me, so I cannot see much. I would give it up. Now, let's say if we fall into a situation where we both give it up, somebody just has to be the bigger person and send it. And one more thing I forgot to mention. Now, let's say if I have work or I have something that I need and I want to convey to him that, hey, I need it, I'm not giving it up. Just like this. I kind of go like this, spam that barrel wave, he gives it up via low ready, and then boom, I make my entry.
Yep. Yeah. Anything else we forgot to touch on for the center pets?
No, just make sure once you dig your corner, of course, boom, dig your corner, and then you don't come up from it. So like this, boom, and then you come up right here. Yeah. Let's say if there's a target over here and Major needs a shoot, now I'm in his line of fire and I'm dead due to friendly fire.
Yeah, you don't want to move all the way up the wall. The reason for that is I think the most a person should really move is up to about this. So from here to the corner to about here. The reason for that is in case someone needs to shoot behind or whatever, you don't want to be in the line of fire if somebody's trying to come into the room from behind us. So you should just like right where about me and you are, right, Merks?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, moving on, whatever's next. Staff Sergeant?
I think we could touch upon movement through doors. I think we just touch on it quick.
Yeah.
For example, like this, you know, right here, since we do have a long threat, we'll get into plating later, but a way that we can just deal with it for now is kind of just bypassing it. And then that person behind me, he could come over there. Again, we'll get into that later.
Yeah, the priorities of work is what I like to call it. You want to make more space for your team. Normally, you're not going to be doing this in a two-man team if you're lucky enough, that is, especially in long corridors like this. We're going to go over more about different priorities of work, but for now, I'll just let you continue, Mercs.
Yeah, I mean, I think one more thing we should go over real quick.
Yeah.
So when we're at an angle like this, a T intersection, right? Because it's kind of basic.
Yeah, I got you. I'll come right here with you.
Sorry, let's say we come out of there. We're right here. We came out of the door. Now we have a T intersection. The way you can tell by a T intersection is two dead spaces that I can't really see further into and he can't see. How we're going to deal with that is something called the barrel exchange, which I pick my gun up, he picks it up, and then right when we touch down, that's when we're going to make our turns. And now we can either hug the close wall, the far wall, doesn't matter, but as long as we're hugging a wall.
Yeah.
I prefer hugging the closer wall.
Yeah, another thing, touching on that, which is also part of the priorities of work, which is just what I call it. Let's say we're coming up, we bypass these doors. We're going to talk about dead space, actually, and the priority of dead space. For example, if this door is open, this is a first priority of work. This door, you're going to flow through it first. It doesn't matter if that door up there is closed. That door is the least of your threat. This is the biggest threat. Mercs can obviously agree with that.
Yeah.
When I say you're going to flow through this door, I don't mean you're going to run through this door. I mean you're going to do it at a pace where it's quick enough to the point where that guy cannot come out of that room, but also enough to the point where you can analyze that threat. So you could do a center step. Basically, the reality is of this, without getting too complicated, is you want to have a good pace and you want to be able to trust your teammate on these kinds of things. So, Mercs, take it over.
Yeah, of course. I don't really got anything else for basics, but I do want to mention something. First man is never wrong. What do I mean by that? Right? Let's say if the first man decides that, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to go in here and run it, right? I'm not going to call him out, be like, dude, what are you doing? Or I'm not going to go with it, right? I'm just going to go with him, go with the flow. And then during debrief, I can address it. Hey, man, you shouldn't have done that. So first man is never wrong in the moment. He can be wrong in general, but in the moment, he's always right.
Another thing I like to say is that mistakes do happen on the field, and as long as that mistake can be corrected, it really doesn't matter. As long as everybody comes out of that room alive, at the end of the day, yeah, it matters, but it doesn't matter in that moment. If you can correct that mistake, correct that mistake. But, yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, also back to that priority of work, I just wanted to touch upon that. How it goes is people with guns, people without guns, then dead space, open doors, closed doors, and dead people. Yeah. Obviously, you're going to have to shift that around on ops. Not all missions, survive first planing. But, yeah, just want to touch upon that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was talking about the priority of work over here, this is also just a basic thing that I feel like is a basic, it's just not taught enough, is that let's say these doors here are closed. We clearly see that there is an opening of a hallway down here, and we enter, right? For example, I'm on this wall, he's on this wall. If you wanted to get on this wall, Mercs, go ahead. We can go ahead and bypass these doors. What I mean by that is, by bypassing, I don't mean you don't have to keep your eyes off that door. You can clearly keep your eye on that door, or you can go ahead and pie those doors while you cross them. I'm just going to continue moving upward. He's going to do that, while I'm basically plating. This is called plating. So let's just start at this door right here. The plate is good for, just I'm covering long way. He's covering whatever it is that he needs to cover on that side, pieing those doors. So, go ahead. You can take it slow, you can take it quick. It just depends on how you and your team coordinate. From this point, as you guys can see, I see an open hallway. Me and him, I'm going to swing wide on that, and I'm basically pieing this hall. We're going to continue down until we clear all dead space and affirm that there's nothing in these dead corners that could come out running and try to kill us. I don't know if Marks has any what's it called? Any objection to that? But yeah.
Nope.
Cool. Great. I think that's all really for the basics and terms. This is Major A. Diaz and Staff Sergeant Max Merks. Thank you for watching. Hope this video was instructional. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact Cadre or any higher ups. That being said, that'll be all.